Two Wheels this week, Jeff travels to Silverstone along with 2,000 riders for the first ever Fireblade Day. And Wayne looks at the kind of biking gear you can buy if you're willing to spend around £1,000. Also, there's more from the brand new training initiative in Sheffield, and some bikers tell us about their biking heroes.
Now, Honda's Fireblade, they introduced it in 1992, so some people say you see them everywhere. Well, you certainly do here, because this is Honda's first Blade Day at Silverstone, and there's thousands of them. Now, if you're organising a big event, any event, someone's got to be in charge. And this guy with me, David Dew, their communications manager for Honda, I think you were sort of in charge of this.
We did hatch a plan about 6 months ago, Jeff, yeah. That's correct.
And so, what is it all about? What started the thinking? Was it a few beers, was it, or...? Well,
that had something to do with it, Jeff, I have to say, but it's really, you know, it's a day in celebration of a very special bike, which is a Fireblade, as you know, and we've probably got around 2,000 here. We did early ticket sales for this, and we had about 500. But as you can see today, the sun's shining.
I've already seen, yeah.
And
brought them out. Yeah.
We've got them out. We've got them out in droves.
What do you think? What is it about the Blade that has made it so sort of popular? It's become a sort of a modern biking icon, hasn't it?
Well, it has. I mean, it's difficult to describe it without getting too much into cliches and all the rest of it. But in 92, well, I suppose in 92 it did rewrite the rule book.
Yeah.
I mean, it really replaced, I suppose, with respect to the others, or not much respect to the others, it replaced the dinosaurs of the late 80s, early 90s,
yeah,
with GSXR 1100s and X-Ups and the rest of it, which are all 1000cc plus. And the Fireblade came along with 900cc, so it had the power of the thousands,
had the
weight and the size of the 600, and it absolutely blew people away.
Yeah.
And it's taken a long time for anyone to ever get, you know, it's a decade really, to get near that.
And then over the years it's matured, you've been through your different models, but I mean, it's still, I mean, can I mention the R1? I've got to mention the R1.
Well, you know, I think the R1, I think Yamaha would quite rightly admit that the R1's got a lot to
yeah, it was,
you know, yeah, it was. I mean,
yeah, the Blade was the benchmark that they sort of said, we've got to beat the Blade,
yeah.
And if we don't, it's not going to go.
Exactly.
But the Fireblade has still got that niche, though. It's still got this popularity for a hell of a lot of people, and I hope to grab one or two people later anyway and just see what it is.
Interesting to see what they say, actually, because I think it does turn a lot of people on in a different way.
Yeah.
But you know, it's got a fantastic name. It's not a something. It is, you know, it is a CBR 900, or it is a Fireblade, or it is a Blade. I mean, in a rather un-Honda way, instead of calling it the CBR 900 RR Biking Festival,
yeah,
it's just Blade Day.
Blade Day,
and you know, we might as well talk the language that customers. I mean, before I worked for Honda, I lusted after a Blade, and I got one.
Yeah.
And I think that anyone who's got a bike now, a super bike now in 2000 or in their last decade has either had a Blade, they've lusted after one, or they now have a bike that owes an awful lot to the development of the Fireblade.
Yeah. Now, you come to Silverstone, which is a superb track. You've got a Fireblade, so you've got to go out there, and that's what these guys are doing. They're waiting now, and believe me, their hearts are starting to pound away, because I've done this. So they're waiting there. It may as well be a Grand Prix as far as they're concerned. All world superbikes, they're just about to go for it. I'm going to leave them to it. Now, the ordinary Fireblades, there's even customised Fireblades, but what about this one for a shiny Fireblade? Just look at it, everything is polished. Chrome tank, polished alloy frame, he's polished the engine cases, big steel braided hose there, polished the ends of the radiators. Over on the other side is a nitrous bottle as well. swinging arm, pattern swinging arm done. In fact, it looks as though it's his own. Polished subframe, everything polished to the nines. Street Fighter look up the front, stripped down, but very neat. So a Fireblade can be anything you want it to be. So if you're into Street Fighters, but not necessarily just shiny ones, what about this? Neat 3-spoke wheel in metallic blue, upswept exhaust, all in stainless steel. And again, the big aero-equipped steel hoses, Street Fighter front end, all very trick, all very tasty. And then look at this, yellow peril here. Nice aftermarket exhaust there, his own swinging arm, nice colour scheme. And again, blue wheels, nice shiny rims, all tricked up. Looking the business, and a very neat front end there with tiny headlights. And look at this one, a purple people eater if ever there was one. But hang on a minute, that's not a blade at all. It says Suzuki down there. That's cheating. So let's say you've got your blade, but your partner's not too keen on the pillion seat. Easy, you simply add a third wheel and a chair on the side. Just look at this. And what he's done is lowered this whole thing. It's got 13-inch wheels on it, front and rear. Leading link front forks, done a bit of Street Fighter stuff up the end with the twin headlights, nitrous oxide for that extra bit of kick, and a nice twin exhaust system at the back. Looks very trick, and a bit like the old checker seat on there. Looks totally mad.
And there'll be more unusual blades and interesting characters from Fireblade Day next week. Right now, it's over to Wayne's warehouse for some advice on leather gear.
Lovely smell of leather. You will have noticed in the previous programmes where we spent an absolute fortune of your hard-earned money, we've avoided leather. I've already spent 200, I've spent 500. This time, spending £1,000, £1,000. And the reason being, I've got leather in this little setup and not previously, because I don't believe in cheap, nasty leather. I reckon if you're only going to spend a couple of £100 on your gear and leather at £200 or £300, I think you might as well spend it on some textile material stuff. I think it's better value for money. But in this region, these figures, where we're spending £500 on a leather suit, that's different. You get quality, it's well worth it. Take this Belstaff suit here. It is good stuff. It's got everything you want in a suit. It'll fit you nicely, assuming you're the right shape, of course. This particular suit is the Mantis. There's several models, several styles, but they're all basically the same. They've got CE-approved body armour in to protect you. They come with knee sliders. They've got different types of leather and different carbon fibre Kevlar bits, everything related to protection, and of course multitude of different colours. But let's get onto the lids. Look at this. This is a bit of tasty kit. It's actually a Keeley replica, and if you can ride like him, you'll spend £1,000 or more on your gear, obviously, because you'll earn a fortune. But that is a bell helmet at £280, and we've got over here this RI. This is the NR3, and this is £300. So you can easily spend £300 on a crash helmet. Now, you might wonder, what do you get for your money in the way of the helmet? Well, we ain't going to linger in that area because we haven't got long enough, because the truth is an awful lot to talk about with good quality expensive helmets. Perhaps we'll do that in the future. Getting back to the gear that you're wearing, the leather gear you're going to wear, that's a one-piece racing suit. This is a two-piece kit, but it's fully zipped together. It's got a big long zip at the back which you can contact and connect into a big long zip into the jacket. Put the two together, you've got a good suit. You'll be able to do your track days and everything. This is one of the Segura kit again. We've got £160 worth of trousers there, and we've got a jacket with yellow in this case, but they do it in blue, red and everything else. Detachable liner, so in the summer you can take this baby out, in the winter you can leave it in, keeps you warm. And that is a jacket that'll cost you around £300. Now, gloves. These. In this case, they're called the Samurai. Why you want to call anything names like that, I do not know, because you're not going to battle. The idea is your protection. Aerodynamic, very much like the ones that the racers use. It's got Kevlar bits and pieces in there for your protection. Nice bit of kit, and that's glove will cost you around £60. And finally, the boots. Now, boots are just as we've said before, There's not such a variation in prices in boots. Boots can cost you anything from £50 up to 200 quid, and that's about it. There's no reason to spend any more than that on it. In this case, this Style Martin pair are made out of Larica. It isn't leather. The idea of Larica is it wears well. It's actually waterproof, although they're not 100% in this case, but it always looks new because you just wipe them down. Looks new for longer, so it makes them very good value for money. So we've just spent as easily, as quickly as that, £1,000. But that's not the limit. Oh no, no, the sky's the limit. So you better put your house up for sale, because next time I'm going to spend an absolute arm and a leg.
And coming up after the break, Wayne has his own riding assessed at the new Sheffield training scheme. On Two Wheels last week, we featured a brand new scheme in Sheffield, teaching youngsters to ride scooters. I put it to PC Chris Pulfrey that apart from motorcycling, surely the main message was road safety.
That's right, and it's not just applicable to scooters. You can say, and we've got kids from 15 to 17 coming down. Some of them may never ride two wheels again. Hopefully they will do, or they'll see the fun side of it. But even if they go into a car, they've still had the basics here today of controls, of the highway code and road safety, and hands-on, having a go around cones and actually having a go with the machine, which they might never have done before.
Absolutely, brilliant. This is only happening here in Yorkshire, to my knowledge. Do you think it's going to go nationwide? Is that the aim of this?
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a pilot scheme we've come up with in conjunction with Honda and Cusworths. If this is a success, which at the midway point seems to be, then hopefully it'll go nationwide, probably next year, I would think.
Right, I'm sure it will. Good luck, well done.
Thank you.
Now I know that one of your jobs on the day, I mean, you're obviously, everybody's chipping in, doing a bit of this and a bit of that, but one of your jobs on the day is doing a bit of testing, aren't you? Yes. And one of the courses there, you're keeping your eye open and you're sort of appraising the riding and the ability of each user. And also, there's a bit of a competition in tow, isn't there, as well, for what is it for the most improved or the best care or best safety? What is it for?
I want to see the best individual control. A young person showing the best control on the motorcycle, no speed. I don't mind the odd wheelie or two. All right, we'll skip on that one.
We'll leave that to James Tosland then.
Well, James is with us and he's the expert on that. But no, I'm looking for control. Throttle is always seems to be as I've seen over the last 2 days, the throttle control is the most difficult part. We're putting a nice prize up for the individual and also for the best team. We're having a team prize, and I think braking, under control, throttle control are the two main things that I'm looking for as a judge.
Well, I know full well then that if I did it, I certainly wouldn't be winning the prize, no matter how good it is.
There's a much chance.
No.
I think once you pass your motorcycle test, Wayne,
I must
think
do
we'll be
this,
going a long way, mate.
I'll stick to my skateboards. I'm pretty good on them skateboards.
Well,
but we better leave you to go and do your testing then. And as long as you don't watch my moves, because I haven't got a lot of ability really, have I?
Can't follow you, mate. I can't follow you, so I'll leave the skills to you. When I tap on the pen, I would like you to use both brakes and stop as if in an emergency. As if an old lady was crossing the road. Right then. You barmy bugger. Right, would you mind conducting further, Mr. Kershaw? Carry on. Steady with the throttle. Right, boss. You barmy, you Lancashire lad. Gangway. Into the slalom, please, Mr. Kershaw. Would you mind standing it on the back wheel, please? You missed the bloody goal. Sorry, boss.
I could do it for coffee.
Well,
dear.
I would appreciate you to sign this one, because I think we can quite easily say that you've bloody failed.
Now that looked a bit tricky, I'm glad I'm not doing it, but young Rebecca here, who's just finished the course, we'll have a little chat and see what she thinks of it. Take your lid off, Rebecca, let me have a chat with you. Oh, it messes your hair up, this helmet, like, yeah. They didn't tell you that when they put the helmet on your head. Right, tell us a little bit now about this sort of second stage. Did you find it a lot more difficult than the first bit?
Yeah, it's a lot tighter. And going around the corners, I've knocked a load of cones over actually. Because you've got to take it right otherwise.
And you're being, also, the pressure's on you because you're being watched, aren't you? And they're sort of testing you as such. But that's all part of the game. I mean, it'll be the same when you get out on the road. So it's a good stage. It's a good thing. It's teaching a little bit. But have you, just as a matter of curiosity, have you ever been on a motorcycle before?
Never, no.
And have you ever fancied going on one?
Yeah, especially after we've done this, I would like, like to have another go, really.
Well, this has grooved your truffles, has it now? This is get you. Would you no, so how old are you now? Just tell me that.
17.
So now, as you're 17, you've got the opportunity of either going on a motorcycle and doing the training, or taking some car tests. What would you do? Would you go for cars or bikes?
Probably cars.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that. Do you really feel safer?
Yeah.
Do you? Well, that shows you that
it's
how
a bit
people.
Of an eerie feeling, when you get around the corners, when you're leaning, you just feel like you're going to fall off, and it's good fun, but I think I prefer the car.
So the fun aspect is there, but the car you feel safer in.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you're not a good advert for motorcycling, are you?
No.
Now, as you can see, there's some happy smiling faces, even though they've been on this course, which is not easy. And Hannah, you're another smiley face that's been on the course. Did you enjoy it or not?
This course here was really quite hard, but I mean, I wanted to do it and I had to go, but it was really hard.
Was it?
Really, really hard, but
But does that mean then it's sort of putting you off a little bit? But knowing the fact that this really is how things are, there's pressure on you, responsibilities when you're riding a bike.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I didn't really realise how dangerous it was, and I think it is a bit. I think if you really want to do it, you probably try harder than me, but I was just scared, so I didn't think I tried my best, really.
So when you say you really wanted to do it, does that mean you drew a short straw to come here today to this course, or you chose to?
Well, funnily enough, it was just mentioned at school, and I thought, oh, I'll have a go, I'll try. I like to find out things, and I wanted to have a go on a motorbike, because I've never been on a motorbike, and I thought I might as well have a go. But I don't think I'll go back on one now.
So this isn't going to encourage you. So really, what you're going to do is you're now going to choose to have a Porsche with a soft top rather than a motorbike. Is that probable?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's all good fun, this, but it's not just a day out for the kids as well, because the teachers get a day out sometimes as well. John Hislop from Swinton Comprehensive School in South Yorkshire. Is this the most popular activity you've ever had in your timetable?
I think it is. We brought 20 students down yesterday, and we had the opportunity to bring some more today. And the major problem we had was selecting, because every single student in Y9 and Y10 wanted to come.
Right, yeah. Are you a biker at all, John? Are you into bikes?
No, not really, no. But next year we're doing a new GCSE at Swinton Comprehensive School called Road Users,
right,
in an attempt to do an alternative curriculum for those that want to get another GCSE, and for those who might find it more practical than doing maybe physics or French. They can do something they're interested in and get a qualification.
Well, it's only a pilot scheme at the moment in its infancy, but I can see it going a lot further. You've got a local school, or local schools, you've got a dealer, a manufacturer, the police, a clothing company, all working together. It might put more bums on seats for motorcycling. If not, it'll teach them something about road safety, so it's all good advice for the future. Don't you think, Wayne?
No.
Why?
Well, I've had a right bum day. I went round them cones, what I thought was really, really impressive. I did a stoppie, a wheelie, knocked a few over, and he says I was erratic.
Erotic?
Or did he say erotic?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what he meant. But, and the highway code thing, look, he scribbled it all up and threw it in the bin. He says that I'd done it all wrong because I made a pattern out of the crosses.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, to be honest with you, I've had a real bum day.
Have you? See, the problem is, when Wayne actually did take his test and pass it, I don't think the highway code had even been invented.
Now, we've all got them, haven't we? Biking heroes. Of course, it could be a racer of present day, or a racer of the past, or it indeed could be a TV or even a film star. I mean, I know who mine is, Steve McQueen on his Triumph. Or was it Pamela Anderson on her Triumph in barbed wire? Not so sure. But anyway, who's yours?
Kevin Schwantz. He's retired now, number 34. They've taken the number away, but in his time he was the fastest man. He was faster than Rainey, although Rainey won the championship. Schwantz got it one year, was made up for him. I've got a Schwantz helmet at home. He's just a top man. I saw him at Donington one year on a Pepsi Suzuki. We were sat at the old hairpin watching Saturday practice. He come down the crane of curves, he come out the old hairpin, it comes sideways, he wheelied, he turned around and waved. He's a top man. He was a top man. He still is. He's out there racing cars, he's still doing a bit. But yeah, Kevin Schwantz, definitely the best.
I think one of the most fantastic boats I've seen on one wheel is Yvonne Diabo, Super Frog. Used to ride for the American team in the transatlantic trophy races. Superb character. Great.
I'll say my favourite hero were Fogarty. He's, you know, he's a good down-to-earth bloke, and all right, he has a whinge now and again, but in general, he's a good rider. I'd like to see him out on roads a bit more, maybe. He lives not so far away from me, just about half a mile away.
Without a doubt, Carl Fogarty. He got me into watching the races. I could never watch races until he was on, and like, even my little lad, he's only 5, and he'll sit and watch it with me, and if he sees a red Ducati with number 1 on, the first thing he says to me is like, Fogarty, you know. I just think he's good. He, you know, he really encouraged me to watch his races. He's very aggressive, rides to win. At the end of last season, he'd won well before the last race, but yeah, he still rode to win. You know, I just think, yeah, my idol, definitely.
On Two Wheels next week, Wayne meets up with a big guy who rides an even bigger machine, Chris Hannon, better known as Cannon, and the fastest Suzuki funny bike in Europe. And there's more from Fireblade Day, when Jeff meets the man who's travelled the world and done over 180,000 miles on his blade. And he gets some top suspension advice from TT racer Philip McKellen.